Morning, folks. So today was another one of those days, let's turn on the light here, where I just kind of puttered around. I got actually quite a bit done, but nothing anybody'd want to look at. It was basically just sorting through some of that stuff that I hauled home from trapping and whatnot, and going through different things, throwing them away, and sorting out the better stuff, keeping that, and trying to find a place to put it away. I need to build some more shelves and get rid of a lot more stuff, actually. But anyway, the other day when I was showing this book by Francis H. Buzzicott, yeah, if I can grab it, The Complete American and Canadian Sportsman's Encyclopedia of Valuable Instruction by Francis H. Buzzicott. Anyway, I come across this picture here. That is what they call a stop thief trap. And it says the new wire trap. It works similar to a Conibear trap. If you're not trappers, probably know what that is if you watched my stuff for a while. I'll go grab a Conibear. Hold on. So this is a Conibear trap. It's kind of the new and improved version, I think, of this one I'm about to show you. They don't come like this. I usually cut the rivet out here and put about a 5 or 6 inch carriage bolt in there. And that way, when it's set, I just stab it into the mud and it's set. I don't have to mess around with it. They're quick and simple to set that way, and they work really well. I'll set this and show you how it works. Okay, so to set these, you squeeze the spring down. Squeeze the spring down and then open up the jaws. This is the trigger. You got this, what they call a trigger dog, and that just hooks onto the edge of the trap itself. And then, like I said, if I was setting this for muskrats, now I would take and I would stab that into the mud in front of one of their tunnels or entrances or something that they've been crawling under the bank at, and then wire this off to the bank just in case something drags it off. But this is an instant kill trap. What happens is you put it over a hole or in a runway where they're going to swim through, and they come swimming along like so, and then whack, and that's it. It works kind of like a big mouse trap. They make these, this is a small one here for muskrats, but they make these big enough for beaver and raccoons and things too. So they're a pretty darn practical trap and a good design. They've been around for quite a while. I think they were, if I remember right, invented in Canada. I should look that up here. Maybe I'll do that on another video. But anyway, this one I'm going to show you now, it's very similar to this. It's another wire spring type trap, but it's similar but kind of a different design. The way they're showing to set these is upside down from what I would have thought. That bow goes downward, and then you just kind of hide it in the den entrance. I don't think you'd have to hide it very well. Most of the animals you'd trap with this are not very smart. And then it just grabs them around the neck like this Conibear does for skunks or raccoons or muskrats or whatever. But they've been around longer than I thought. It's this one here. They made them in 2 different sizes. Says the stop thief trap here, shown in the close and set positions. That one's closed, that one's set. Was first produced in the late 1880's and remained on the market for about 40 years. So that'd make it 1920 to 1880. So that's a lot older trap than I thought it was. It says the choker type stop thief traps offered for sale in 1900 were produced under the 1888 Hooker patent. Available in sizes 1, 2, and 3, they sold respectively at 20, 30, and 38 cents. a piece, or $1, $2, and $2.60 per dozen, with discounts on larger orders. Basically similar but simpler designs apparently turned out under the 1879 hooker patent were occasionally seen today, but do not know when or whom they were manufactured by. For the largest number of animals that were caught in stop thief traps in November 15th of 1901 through April 1st, 1902, the manufacturer offered a prize of 2 dozen traps to any of the 3 sizes then on the market. A similar award was to be made to the trapper who submitted the best description of how to use these traps to capture different kinds of animals. By 1903, two larger sizes of stop thieves, number 3.5 and 4, had been added to the product line. In early 1906, the first of the series of tree traps. Okay, that's something different. So it just so happens I have a couple of these traps in my collection. Got the little one, and I got a little bit bigger one. I guess there was 3 sizes, so I'm missing one yet. Anyway, I'll put these on the floor so you see them a little better. So that's the 2 different sizes that I have compared to a little 110 Conibear trap here. They're pretty similar in size, and they function about the same too. The neat thing about these, so these are basically a one-piece trap. This whole spring right here comes down and across and up and around, and then makes a loop here. That's all one solid piece, as well as this piece. It comes up, makes a loop right there, and comes out over here. And the way these are set is you squeeze, you squeeze the spring down like so. Let's see, get in the camera a little better. Squeeze the spring down like so. Fold this piece here down, like so, and then this piece is a separate one. That's the trigger, and that, you just hook that right there to the edge of that. Let's see here. I can do it without snapping myself. Okay, so that's the set position, like that. It's just hooked in right here. This is kind of the kill bar, and that's this trigger piece. According to Buzzicott's book, you would set it upside down like that. And then when the critter comes in and steps on that trigger part, or tries to crawl through that opening, it smacks them, just like that. So it's a pretty similar design as a Conibear, but they're a little bit different. I don't know really how you would support these. You know, a lot of the, you know, like my Conibear there, I have that longer bolt on it. This you'd have to just kind of wedge it in there somehow, I guess. Maybe put a stick this way or that way, but I'll show you when a Conibear set. I'll show you what I'm talking about there. So with a Conibear trap, when it's set, most of them, the bigger ones, will have 2 springs on them, and instead of this. Like I say, I added that, and that makes it easy for me. I just stab that into the mud and away I go. But without that, the way you usually set this is you would take a stick and you would poke it down like, this is probably too big to go through here. Yeah, anyway, you poke that through the spring lever and then kind of put the edge of it up against like so. So this would be, you know, into the mud, kind of like that. So that would support this from doing this, both directions. And with the double spring, you go through both of them. And that kind of makes a big visible, you know, pair of sticks like this going through, and that makes the animal dive through it a little bit easier. Like I say, this is a very well designed trap, very useful trap, and lots of people use them today. But the stop thief traps says they were used for about 40 years, but you don't see these very often. I don't think they're in use anymore. Might be kind of fun, maybe next trapping season, to put these to use and catch something in it. But these are, they're collectible antiques, so I kind of hate to do that and risk the chance of somebody stealing them. But anyway, that's the Stop Thief wire trap, which Buzzcott talks about in his book. And I don't know if you folks got a whole lot of interest in that kind of thing or not, but I like old traps. I like antiques of all kinds, and I've got a bunch of others. If you guys are interested, I'll show off some of these, like this guy here. That one's kind of unusual. Here's one with 2 jaws on it. This one's a cool one. And then you got stuff with teeth on them and stuff without teeth on them. And there's all sorts of different ones. This one here in his book, or in this book, that one is an out-of-sight mole trap. That one's shown set. It says, first produced by the Animal Trap Company at Albington, Illinois, about 1900. They are still currently made today by the Woodspring Corporation. The ones they make today are a little bit different. They're not cast iron. They're kind of pressed out sheet metal, and they're nice traps. But this is one of the old original antique ones. Like I say, I kind of collect this kind of stuff. I like antique stuff. But this is kind of a scary trap, really. The way this is set up, these jaws here are shown open, and you put that over a mole tunnel that goes this direction, and the mole comes on through and it bumps that little pan there, and it just basically scissors them shut like that. It's got extremely strong jaws for a mole. This thing is hard to set. I mean, it's really got a stout spring on it. You definitely wouldn't want to get your finger caught in that. You'd probably lose it. Anyway, folks, like I said, not a lot happened today, and trying to come up with something interesting. And if you think this is kind of neat, I'll go through and show you some more of them. Till then, see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.